Here's something they don't want you to know. There's a California that exists outside the $2 million starter home nightmare. A California where your paycheck doesn't evaporate into rent. Where owning property isn't a fever dream reserved for tech billionaires and lottery winners. Right now, while everyone's obsessing over San Francisco studio apartments that cost more than a small country's GDP, there are entire cities in the Golden State where you can buy a house for less than a luxury car. We're talking actual houses with yards, garages, and square footage that doesn't require contortionist skills to navigate. Sounds like a scam, right? It's not. But there's always a catch. Sometimes it's the heat that'll make you question your life choices. Sometimes it's the isolation that forces you to befriend tumbleweeds. And sometimes, well, your new neighbor might be a maximum security prison. Romance comes in unexpected packages. Today, we're exposing the 10 cheapest cities in California that nobody talks about. Some are hidden gems waiting for discovery. Others are cheap for reasons that'll make you sweat, literally and metaphorically. And one of them might just change your entire life plan, your financial trajectory, and your relationship with air conditioning. Let's dive in. Number 10. Barstow, the desert time. Capsule. Imagine a place frozen somewhere between a vintage postcard and a fever dream. That's Barstow. This city doesn't just exist, it persists, stubbornly clinging to an identity formed when Route 66 mattered and diners served as community centers. Sitting dead center between Los Angeles and Las Vegas, Barstow feels like the universe hit the pause button and walked away. But here's what makes it interesting. Median home prices hover around $195,000. That's not a typo. That's not outdated data from 2008. In California, where the average home costs nearly $700,000, Barstow is selling for 70% less. For context, that's cheaper than most used luxury vehicles. You could buy an actual California house for less than a well-optioned SUV. The math alone should make you pause. The cost of living sits 28% below Los Angeles. Rent for a 2-bedroom apartment? Around $1,000 monthly. You could pay less in Barstow than most people spend on their car payment and insurance combined, and still own actual property with a deed and everything. Now, before you start packing your U-Haul and dreaming about desert sunsets, let's address the elephant in the desert. Barstow's crime rate runs about 27% above the national average. It's not exactly Mayberry with palm trees. Most issues center around petty theft, vandalism, and the occasional public disturbance. Think less dangerous crime thriller and more keep your car locked and don't leave valuables visible. The job market revolves around logistics, the railroad, and Fort Irwin military base nearby. It's not Silicon Valley with startups and ping-pong tables, but these sectors offer stability that many trendy cities can't match. People pass through Barstow constantly, truckers, travelers, military personnel, which creates consistent demand for services, food, gas, and lodging. Here's what nobody mentions in the statistics: the freedom. When your mortgage payment is manageable, when rent doesn't consume half your income before you even think about groceries, you can actually breathe. You can save money. You can take risks. You can build something. The sunsets stretch across the Mojave like painted fire, oranges, purples, and reds that look too vivid to be real. Those retro diners serve coffee and conversation that feel imported from a different era. The antique shops hold stories from when America looked different, moved slower, and measured success differently. But reality check time. The wind in Barstow doesn't breeze. It attacks. Your skin dries out within weeks. Your plants die despite your best intentions. Summer turns your car into a mobile sauna that could double as a torture device. And yes, late-night Walmart runs feel vaguely post-apocalyptic, like you're the last survivor in a zombie movie, but the zombies lost interest. One local described it perfectly. Barstow is where you end up by accident and somehow never leave. There's strange poetry in that statement, a resignation mixed with unexpected affection. Would you trade urban chaos for desert peace and $195,000 homes? Number 9. Taft, where oil dreams go to rest. Taft exists as a living monument to boom and bust economics, a case study in what happens when an entire town's identity gets built on a single industry that slowly fades. Born during California's oil rush in the early 1900s, Taft grew wealthy fast. They built infrastructure, developed civic pride, constructed schools and parks, and believed the good times would last forever. Then the oil industry didn't disappear. It just slowly contracted, like a balloon losing air one molecule at a time. Median home price, approximately $175,000. Average rent, $1,000 monthly for a two-bedroom place. Cost of living runs 30–35% below the California average. For pure affordability metrics, Taft delivers numbers that make financial advisors do double takes. The job market centers on schools, corrections facilities, prisons are major employers here, gas stations, and whatever oil operations remain functional. It's not diverse or glamorous, but it's there. The crime rate focuses mainly on property issues, thefts, vandalism, nothing that'll make national headlines or require personal security details. Summer temperatures regularly hit 110 degrees with the kind of consistency that feels personal. The heat isn't just uncomfortable, it's aggressive, purposeful, almost vindictive. Half the town essentially closes during peak afternoon hours because commerce requires survivable conditions. Air conditioning is an optional amenity here. It's life support infrastructure. Here's where Taft gets genuinely interesting: the city budget. Dynamics. Imagine running a municipality designed for 1980s funding levels with 1920s infrastructure expectations. That's Taft's daily reality. Oil tax revenues shrunk dramatically over decades, forcing heavy reliance on Kern County subsidies and state grants just to maintain basic services. The city council isn't incompetent or corrupt. They're just operating with extremely limited resources while trying to maintain roads, utilities, emergency services, and public facilities. This creates duct tape governance, practical, determined, and perpetually improvising solutions with whatever's available. Roads get maintained eventually. Utilities function most of the time, but don't expect modern civic amenities, cutting-edge recreation facilities, or rapid response to infrastructure problems. This is municipal management in survival mode. The wind deserves special mention in any Taft discussion. It doesn't blow gently or occasionally. It roars with purpose and determination. Garbage cans flip over like they've been personally offended. Dust storms materialize from nowhere. You'll get exfoliated whether you scheduled it or not. But picture this scenario. You own property. Actual property with your name on official documents. Your front door opens to massive desert skies that stretch forever. No traffic sounds penetrate your walls. No sirens interrupt your thoughts. Just occasional semi-trucks on distant highways and judgmental birds questioning your life choices. Your garage is larger than your last apartment. Your yard could fit your previous living room 3 times over. And you paid under $200,000 for all of it. That's victory Taft style, unglamorous, practical, and completely achievable. Number 8. Clearlake. Paradise with a police scanner. Clearlake is what happens when Mother Nature creates something genuinely spectacular and local government forgets to read the instruction manual on how to manage it. First impression upon arrival. Stunning. Mountains frame a pristine lake like a postcard photographer's dream. Sunsets turn the water into liquid gold. Mornings arrive with mist hovering over calm surfaces. It looks like a vacation destination that should cost triple what it actually does. Reality check incoming. Median home price around $210,000. Rent approximately $100 for 2 bedrooms, often with lake views. Cost of living sits 25% below the state average, making it financially attractive to anyone drowning in coastal California rent payments. Now, here's the plot twist that needs bold font and warning labels. Crime rate runs 94% higher than the national average. That's not a typo or exaggeration. Clearlake combines scenic beauty with crime statistics that read like a crime thriller plot outline. The job market includes healthcare facilities serving the region, retail operations, fishing-related businesses, seasonal tourism, and what locals diplomatically call the informal economy. Side hustles, Facebook marketplace transactions, cash, jobs, and entrepreneurial creativity operating outside traditional employment structures. City government operates in perpetual recovery mode, constantly playing catch-up. Years of underfunding, infrastructure delays, and budget gaps have created a situation where basic maintenance feels aspirational rather than expected. Police staffing rotates frequently due to budget constraints and challenging working conditions. Code enforcement exists more in theory than consistent practice. Potholes develop personalities, names, and lifespans measured in years. Living in Clearlake creates emotional whiplash that requires psychological flexibility. Morning paddleboarding sessions feel transcendent, peaceful water, mountain reflections, bird songs creating natural soundtrack. Then you hear mysterious booms at 3 a.m., sirens become regular background noise, and you question every life decision that brought you to this beautiful, chaotic place. The lake itself, one of North America's oldest natural lakes, is genuinely beautiful and historically significant. But it comes with invasive weeds choking shorelines, questionable water quality during certain seasons, and occasional unofficial boat parties that resemble aquatic music festivals organized by people who've never heard of permits. Street signs look like they were installed by someone holding a personal grudge against navigation. GPS systems give up halfway through directions, displaying error messages that feel like digital shrugs. Roads qualify as extreme sports venues where potholes become obstacles requiring strategic maneuvering. Despite everything, the crime, the dysfunction, the infrastructure challenges, people stay. The beauty provides something money can't buy in expensive cities: space to breathe, water to explore, and affordability that makes home ownership possible for teachers, nurses, and regular working people. Would you accept high crime rates for $210,000 lakefront access and natural beauty? Number 7. Ridgecrest, where the ground moves and mortgages. Don't Ridgecrest sits in the Mojave Desert with a military base, aerospace engineers, defense contractors, and an active fault line that occasionally reminds everyone that California's geology has opinions. Median home price, approximately $245,000. Rent around $1,200 for 2 bedrooms, often including central AC and desert views that stretch to mountain ranges. Cost of living runs 24% below California's average, making it affordable while maintaining decent quality of life. Crime rates? Significantly lower than most cities on this list. The biggest public safety issues involve stolen lawn decorations, occasional teenage mischief, and rogue tumbleweeds blocking roadways. It's almost boring in its safety, a welcome change from the previous entries. The job market centers heavily on Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake, a massive military installation. This brings scientists, engineers, defense contractors, civilian support staff, and stable government employment that doesn't disappear during economic downturns. It's not glamorous startup culture with free kombucha, but it's recession-resistant and offers genuine career paths. City government actually functions with surprising competence. Roads get maintained on predictable schedules. Community events happen regularly without drama. Police response times stay reasonable. Utilities work consistently. Public facilities get cleaned and updated. It's almost shockingly competent for a small California town, creating infrastructure reliability that many larger cities struggle to match. Then there are the earthquakes, the geological reality that can't be ignored. In July 2019, back-to-back earthquakes measuring 6.4 and 7.1 hit Ridgecrest within 24 hours. Buildings cracked, foundations shifted, roads buckled. The ground literally moved in ways that make you reconsider assumptions about solid Earth. Locals responded with characteristic desert toughness and dark humor. 1. Residents' response summed up community attitude. "We don't run from earthquakes. We ride them like messed-up roller coasters, then fix whatever broke and get back to life." That's Ridgecrest energy, practical resilience without dramatic flair. The dust is relentless and deserves its own paragraph. Fine-grained particles infiltrate everything: shoes, cars, homes, electronics, souls. Cleaning becomes Sisyphean task. It's always sunny, but not pleasant beach sunny. More like, the sun is personally angry at your existence, sunny. Shade becomes valuable currency. Trees get treated like precious resources. DoorDash doesn't reliably operate here. Food delivery is theoretical concept rather than practical reality. You're more likely to see a stealth bomber on test flight than receive Thai food at your door. Isolation is real and tangible. But imagine this reality: endless sky stretching in every direction. Complete silence where you actually hear your own thoughts without urban interference. Wind humming across desert landscape, creating natural white noise. Your dog napping in permanent sunshine that requires zero seasonal adjustment. Life isn't about dodging bills, traffic, or noise pollution. That's Ridgecrest, all for less than a luxury vehicle costs, with the bonus of occasional ground movement to keep things interesting. Would you accept occasional earthquakes for $245,000 and actual peace? Number 6. Susanville. Isolation as a feature, not a bug. Susanville exists in northeastern California's Lassen County for people who want to disappear without actually disappearing. Surrounded by forests and mountains, with Reno as the nearest major city, Susanville embraces remoteness as core identity. Median home price, $220,000. Rent approximately $1,000 monthly. Cost of living sits 28% below California's average. Crime stays surprisingly low, the kind of place where package theft confuses everyone because neighbors notice strangers immediately. The job market revolves around government work, corrections, the prison is the largest employer, and education. It's stable, unglamorous, necessary work that keeps communities functioning. Quality of life depends entirely on personality type. Nature enthusiasts find paradise. Solitude seekers discover peace. People who need Thai food delivery at 11 p.m. will slowly go insane. Winter hits hard with purpose. Snow falls. Wind cuts through layers. Then suddenly it's sunny enough to shovel driveways in tank tops. Weather has mood swings that require wardrobe flexibility. But picture waking to snow falling silently. No sirens, no traffic, no delivery drivers, just wind through pines, warm coffee, and mountain views. One local described it: "Living in Susanville is like being grounded by the universe, but you get free firewood and cheap rent." Number 5. Avenel. The Forgotten Valley Town. Avenel doesn't try to impress. It exists to function. Central Valley location. Median home price around $190,000. Rent from $950 to $1,050. Cost of living 35% below state average. Everything is beige. Heat is policy, not weather. Coffee gets warm before leaving drive-thru. But you can own property. Bills get paid. Life stabilizes. It's not thrilling. It's solvent. Number 4. Calexico. Border town heat and culture. Calexico sits on the Mexican border, creating genuinely bilingual culture and unique economic opportunities. Median home price, $230,000. Rent, $1,000 to $200. Cost of living 30% below average. Summer hits 110 degrees regularly. Border traffic creates delays. But the food is incredible, culture is vibrant, and cross-border economics create opportunities unavailable elsewhere in California. Number 3. Delano. Exists. It just demands trade-offs. Trade coastal views for desert sunsets. Trade urban amenities for financial stability. Trade restaurant variety for actual property ownership. Trade mild weather for manageable mortgages. None of these places are perfect. All of them are cheap for specific reasons, but they prove California's housing crisis has geographic boundaries. The question isn't whether these cities match your ideal fantasy. The question is what you're willing to trade for financial freedom. Keep renting that overpriced apartment or take a chance on a town nobody's heard of. The houses are waiting. The choice is yours. What would you sacrifice for affordable home ownership in California?